Okay, I think we're live. I think that's all right. It says that we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. My name is Doug. This is my channel where we do all sorts of tabletop games, board games. It's usually me and my daughter, but occasionally I have some very special guests on with me. And today is one of those sessions. And I have Mattias Johnsson from Jarnringen. Did I get it right?
Yay! Yay!
I think I got it right. Look at that. They have this phenomenal role-playing game called Symbaroum.
Yeah.
Symbaroum.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. We'll talk all about it and shortly. But first, I want to welcome Mattias. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me and for calling me a special guest.
Wow,
that feels fantastic.
It's just, wow, it's true. It's true. I mean, you guys are just doing phenomenal things with this game, and I'm so excited to have you on. And oh, I will let everybody know if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll address them as they come up, or we'll pretty much any question will get addressed in the chat. But you guys are doing some great things over there. Thanks for coming on and doing this.
No problem. I'm really happy to be here.
And I will say that there is a big time difference between where we're both at, and luckily we were able to make this work because you're 5 hours ahead of me, and I didn't have you coming on at like 2 in the morning, so hopefully it worked out great for everybody. So right now you have a Kickstarter campaign going on. It's for your monster codex. It's got 10 days left on it as of this stream right now. You guys are just burning up Kickstarter.
You think?
I think you're doing great.
Yeah, I mean, just today I was over at EN World and looked at all these, Angus has these summaries of ongoing Kickstarters. And I was in there checking them all, and there's so much fantastic stuff out there. So much creativity, so much cool art, so much cool ideas. So I don't know. It feels in that light. I must say that our progress so far feels almost unbelievable. It's really cool, and it's all thanks to our amazing, or I should say Symbaroum's amazing group of gamers.
Absolutely. Well, I think when we first scheduled to have you on, and even leading up to your Kickstarter, I've occasionally mentioned your game here and there on social media. And everybody, like, you guys have a great fan base of your game, and they have nothing but positive things to say about this game. And I think that just kind of feeds, and like everybody just keeps talking about it. And that's the best kind of advertising that you can get.
Yeah, like, of course it is. But you, as we were talking about earlier, a role-playing game, like any other form of popular cultural artifact, is, I mean, it's a question of taste, and we are just very, very lucky that lots of people seem to share our taste in role-playing games.
Sure.
But because not everybody do.
Right.
I can tell you that. We have been very blessed so far, but I mean, the Symbaroum isn't for everybody, just like any game isn't for everybody.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that how I found out about Symbaroum is I tweet a lot about RPGs, and you guys, you and there's a couple other publishers that are really just spearheading this whole Swedish RPG movement that's going on. Like, this is just a huge phenomenon. Like, you guys are just putting out these awesome games, and you're kind of showing the rest of the world that, hey, we've been doing this for years. And now that here in the States, role playing has really kind of hit its, it's right back to where it was, like, kind of in the 80s. Like, you guys are out there showing the rest of the world that, hey, we've been doing this right along. We know what we're doing, and I think everybody's kind of taking notice of that.
Yeah, we actually visited Gen Con for the first time this year,
mm-hmm.
And it was, you know, you think you would get tired or at least a bit stressed out, being awake more or less around the clock and talking to people. We teamed up with our co-publisher in English, Modifius.
Yep.
But you know, I left Indianapolis feeling nothing but inspired and invigorated, and that's, I mean, come on. We visit conventions in Europe, and we have a small one in Sweden too. And it's always when I leave, I feel like I want to sleep for a week.
Sure.
Yeah. After Gen Con, it was. I can't speak well enough of it because it was such an amazing experience.
That's awesome.
And so much role-playing games.
Oh yes.
That was a really, really cool thing, because a lot of the other conventions, role-playing games are just a small part of it. Here it felt almost dominating.
Oh wow, nice.
May have been because I just spent the days in those kinds of areas, but
sure.
Anyway,
yeah, you guys, you just really putting out some great stuff. And the way I found out about Symbaroum is that I tweeted out, and one of my followers on Twitter, and I'll tell you, if anybody is on social media, if anybody's on Twitter or anything, follow me on Twitter, and I'll probably follow you back, because I love Twitter and I love like talking with people and everything. And one of my followers said, "Hey, have you heard of Symbaroum?" And I knew Modifius had put it out, and I'm not a huge fantasy role player. Like, that's just not, like, I like it and I'll play it, and you know, I play 5th edition and it's okay and I have fun with it, and it's not my go-to. It's not like what I'm more of a sci-fi. I like, you know, post-apocalyptic. I like that kind of stuff. But so I tweeted that back. I'm like, yeah, I've checked it out. You know, I've kind of seen it. It's not really. And I think it was John. John says, "No, Doug, you got to give this. Just go pick it up and read it, and you're gonna love it." He's like, "Don't worry about it." And I did. I picked it up, and I'm like, "Oh my word, this game is awesome!" like this dark fantasy world that you guys create is just so good. It is just it just.
You're making me blush, man.
No, it's just great, and this is coming from a guy that's not a huge fantasy player, and I love it. I love it. It's great. So yeah.
Now I feel like turning this interview inside out and asking why.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna.
I think so. Can I say?
Sure.
I think maybe Symbaroum is that kind of game that if it tickles your taste buds, you will probably not think it's so. You will either you will like it, or you will say, well, there's D&D 5 or Pathfinder or heroic fantasy or some other, or Warhammer or whatever. So, and because that's like what I've picked up from speaking to people both online and at conventions and so on. But is it dark? Is it dark?
Yeah, it's real dark, and I think what I like about the best. I think what I like about it the best is that, like, you're just so small. Like, you're just like this little tiny pinhead in this game, in this big world, and the book just sets the tone for that too. I'm going to share some of these photos because they're just like, your art in these books are just amazing. Like, I don't know who does your art. Maybe we should give your artists a shout out. Let me share some of this art. Like, even the art makes you feel small. Like, look at it. You have like these big landscape. You have like these big landscape like portraits, and then like you're just so like it just does a great job of setting the tone of everything. And I think that's what I love about it the best. Let me see if I can share another one for folks. Like you have like these big landscapes, and then like the people in it are just so tiny, and it's just, let me see if I it's like that right there. Like it's just, I love it.
A very defining moment in the game world. Yeah. Yeah, Martin is.
Who does all your art? I mean, I probably should have done my homework and looked it up. But who does your artwork for these books? Because man, they've got it.
Yeah, Martin. It's one guy.
Is it just one guy doing all your art?
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Martin Grip. We are actually the core team. We are 3 guys that have known each other for 30 years going.
30 years?
Yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah, we grew up together playing role-playing games in the north of Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, we started Jarnringen in 01, 02. It's going on some years. And we did first. We started off doing a version of Mutant, the same brand that Free League now are working with. And then we decided in like 07, 08 that it didn't feel right to work on licenses.
Okay.
Because we were creating all this stuff we are extremely proud of, and we loved doing it. But as soon as it left our hands, it wasn't ours anymore.
Right. Okay.
It was owned by the licensor, maybe. Yeah. So we did a little game called Coriolis.
Correct.
But right about that time, we sort of lost some steam. Other careers, families, children, and so on, and we decided to close up shop actually, and we did for a couple of years, and we sold Coriolis to someone who is now in their turn owns the license, and Free League Publishing are working with them.
Right.
So, but it took like 3 or 4 years before we in the core team were actually on a role playing trip to Istanbul, and we decided that we have to start up again, and we have to do a fantasy role-playing game, because that's always been our genre, and we really long to do it. And Martin, me, and Mattias Lilja, who is our game designer, rules-wise, started working on it, I would say, 2013, and it released about 1.5 years later.
Wow. So that was 2014 then that it must have released, and then this is just 3 years later, and now you've got this big phenomenon going on, and you've got it translated to all these different languages, and how does that feel? That must be like, you must just be so.
No, but of course it feels unreal. It was exactly the thing is, this is exactly what we set out to do. We don't have time for hobbies anymore. I have family. I have children. I'm middle-aged.
Hey, I hear you. Hey.
And if I wanna the free time that I do have, I wanna spend gaming or reading, not writing or making games. So, but in all honesty, I never thought it would come true. I mean,
right. Well, you always hoped, but to see it actually happen.
We are still a very small company. We are still, you know, we are 2 employees. It's me and Martin who does the illustrations, and on that we try to keep some kind of pace in releasing new products and keeping in touch with the community and going on trips to meet gamers. Well, but we hope, of course, to continue. I mean, if things continue to go the way we are seeing right now, we hope that this will. I mean, I left I guess you'd call it tenure at the university.
Sure. Yeah.
Here in Umeå, 5-6 years ago. Hellbent on being a writer, and I do not think that I believe myself that I would be able to call myself a full-time role-playing games writer.
Sure.
Some years later, so but that's where I'm at.
No, that's awesome. That's I love it when people can do something for a living that they're very passionate about and that they just love doing, because that's what life should be about. You know, when you can find something that you can do that you love to do and make a living at it and support your family, and you know, that is a very special thing. Not everybody can do that.
No, and especially getting to do. I am also fortunate to love doing something that actually brings a lot of fun and joy to others.
Absolutely.
So it's a double upside to this new career of mine, I would say.
Oh, that's awesome. That is, and you're doing it very well, a very good job. Because I'll tell you right now, I did do some of my research. For only 2 folks on your team, you know, you've had a couple other Kickstarters and crowdfunding. Like every single one of them just keeps increasing funding. Like that's something to be said. Like a lot of folks on Kickstarter, they put out a product, it does really good the first time. The second time, it might not. You know, it kind of depends on the product. But you guys, you keep building momentum, and people just seem to just really enjoy it. And you guys are doing great stuff, and you're addressing the community. I think, you know, for only 2 folks, and I'm sure you have other people that help you with this.
We have freelancers on certain things, like doing maps and layout work and so on, of course.
But for only a few folks, you're doing a lot of really good stuff on Kickstarter and crowdfunding, and that's hard to do. Like even for big companies, you know, to keep that momentum going on the crowdfunding platform for just a small crew, that says a lot for you guys. You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I think it's people seem to appreciate the fact that we seldom are very late, for one thing. We are not afraid to crunch for weeks and months in order to try to keep a deadline. Then, I mean, things happen.
Sure.
We are right now in the fulfillment phase of a previous Kickstarter, which were delayed partly because of things just vanishing in transit. I can tell this to you. Apparently, those dice pouches that you didn't get with your first shipment, you guys who backed the Carvossi Kickstarter, they have been found somewhere in in France.
No.
And are slowly making the last thing I saw, they were in Cologne, I think.
Oh no.
And they are supposed to head over to our warehouse in London. So, you know, things happen along the way. But as far as is possible, I think it's, of course, delivering products that look nice and are
absolutely
are of use at the gaming table, because that's I mean that's what we should focus on.
Sure.
We who create role-playing games, not necessarily coming up with the. I mean, you can have a lot when doing a work of art. You can have lots of aims and goals with that piece you're creating. When making role-playing games, I would say that it should be useful at the gaming table. That's
absolutely.
Then it doesn't hurt if it's also fun to read and nice to look at. Yeah.
Actually, we've got while we're on the subject, let's ask. We've got a question on the chat. Do you have any plans to go beyond Davokar to other lands, or maybe south of the Titans? Now, we haven't really talked about the layout of the geography of this setting. Davokar is this forest area that, if you go into it, it's corrupt. Like, there's corruption in there, and it's a really dark place with like lots of monsters. You have to like.
It's also a very, very beautiful place. Don't forget.
Oh, that's true. That too. You have to have, like, if you're playing it, you have to get like a license, like to go in there and adventure in it. It's just a really great setting. But are there any plans to go beyond there?
Absolutely. You can say the main narrative of the game and the setting will be a 7-part chronicle called The Throne of Thorns, and actually at least one of those episodes will be set south of the Titans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there is this ebook called, I think it's called The Throne of Thorns Campaign Overview or something like that. You can find it, for instance, on Drive-Thru or other places, download stores, where we in detail describe, not in detail, where you give an overview of the episodes of the campaign. Other than that, we actually released another smaller ebook, which is actually mainly an in-game document. It's a report from the Royal Secretarium in Umbria, where basically Ambrian spies are reporting about the state of the surrounding lands. And in that, we also more or less promise that we will produce supplements describing, for instance, the eastern Ashen deserts and the Freetown down south. Also, if Symbaroum keeps attracting gamers and manages to hang on to the ones that are already playing, we will probably see, not now, but in a not very distant future, a second campaign focus in the West, in what's called the city-states, where humans also are struggling against a formidable force of nature, but of a kind of a different type than the one you see in Davokar.
Nice.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about your Kickstarter. If anybody's interested in this Kickstarter, I put the link in the description of this video. Check it out after you watch this Q&A. And I also put a link to, there's actually a free adventure for Symbaroum on Modifius's website, and I put a link to that as well. So you just download that, take a look at it. It kind of gives you a good taste of what this game is like. Also,
so you should say it includes a narrative tutorial of the rule set.
That too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and also I think it's 9 pre-made characters. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a good place to start if you want to get a feel for the system and the setting and what kind of characters you will be playing.
Very. So I put the link for that, and I also put the link to the your website in the description. So feel free to, after you watch this video, feel free to just click on those links and check it all out. But let's talk about the Monster Codex a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to give us just a summary of what you are looking to do, what the campaign is all about, what the campaign is for?
Yeah, the main focus of the Kickstarter campaign is this Symbaroum Monster Codex, which will be a supplement with, you can say, 3 main sections. Let's start at the back. There will be a rules supplement section containing both guidelines for creating your creatures. There will be lots of new monsters traits. I don't know how to describe them. It's like special abilities for monsters.
Sure. Okay.
So that's one section. Then the mid section will mainly consist of stat blocks and short descriptions of a long list of creatures and it will probably be divided. We're looking into it now, but it will probably be divided either according to environments. So it's like Ambrian City, and then you will have, I don't know, 5 to 10 stat blocks of commonly encountered beasts and humans in that environment. Or maybe we will go with factions. So we will have one section including characters or NPCs belonging to the Sun Church, and another to the Ambrian army, and another to the barbarian clans. We aren't, The main thing, though, I would say, is the opening section of the book, which we're looking at now will include about 27 to 30 creatures, beasts, monsters.
Okay.
And each of these will be illustrated, of course, and you will have, like, I say, 3 to 5, sometimes even 6 pages describing each creature. Mm-hmm. So it will be, aside from pure descriptions, it will include things like in-game artifacts describing encounters with this creature. We will likely, depending on how the Kickstarter goes, likely have some kind of scenario setups for all of these creatures, and most of them, I dare say, Mattias really has the lead on this project, but many of them, let's stop at many of them, will have several different stat blocks for creatures of the same creature, but in different age or different type, or if you have seen the Symbaroum core rulebook and seen the description of the elves and the trolls, you get the idea. You can meet not only an elf, you can meet spring elf, summer elf, autumn elf, and maybe there, at least some say there are these even older elves that you can encounter.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's the first block of the Monster Codex, and then there's 2 other. You said there's there's 3 parts that you want to include with this book.
Yeah, I actually described all of them now from the back to the front.
Yep. I'm sorry, the audio is kind of getting.
Oh.
I don't know what's.
Is it better?
It was cutting out a little bit.
Let's.
Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better.
Yeah, okay.
So that's going to have all 3 of those sections in it. And do you know approximately how many pages that's going to entail?
I've done a count. I would say around 200 pages.
Wow! So it'll be big. It'll be a big, rather large book. You've already hit your funding for this project. You're already smashed through some stretch goals. You're gonna make this book a hardcover. You are also unlocking some adventure landscapes. Do you want to talk about those a little bit?
Actually, we released a couple of. Is the sound going away? No.
The sound's kind of.
Oh man, so sorry.
No, it's all right. That's what happens when you go live.
Yeah, I tried to speak into the microphone. Do you hear me now?
It's a little.
It's
not as good as it was earlier.
Very strange. Very strange. Let me see if I can. You have taught me to. If we should try to change to another. Better, maybe?
It's still kind of static.
I don't know.
This one?
That one's better.
That one is better. Then we try that one.
Okay.
Now, where were we?
The adventure landscapes. You've unlocked 2 of them already, and these are actually a stretch goal where you're going to actually give folks PDFs and print copies if they include they're part of some of the pledges.
Yeah, the printed version is Kickstarter exclusive.
Oh, okay.
So your only chance to get them in print will be through this Kickstarter.
Nice.
The thing is, Davokar is. I would say that we enjoy exploring Davokar probably as much as most players do.
Sure.
So this is kind of a treat for us as well, getting to delve into 3 locations. These locations will be basically what we call adventure landscapes. Is like a sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, and the tools in these particular sandboxes consist of conflicts, and for conflicts to arise, you need to have actors, right? So it's a set of NPCs and creatures involved in some kind of controversy or conflict at a limited area of the forest. You will have a full color map of the area, of course, and also kind of a scenario startup. How to introduce the play characters into the setting, and how they start interacting with the agents in the area. And when I say agents, it can be monsters, it can be a goblin tribe, it can be human explorers already in place, whatever. And the basic idea of this sandbox kind of landscape is that what happens next is totally up to not to the players, but to the player characters.
Nice.
What they want to accomplish in this setting, as individuals as well as a group. I mean, this is a question of gaming style, but often these, because Symbaroum's game world is designed around, you called it dark earlier. Its morals are central to the design of the setting.
Sure.
And in that makes it a bit more serious. Maybe it's not only black and white. It's hardly at all black and white, I would argue, meaning that also the player characters will enter this environment with, maybe one is a priest of Prius, the sun god. Maybe one is a barbarian witch. Another may be an Ambrian nobleman, and so on and so forth. And they will enter this environment and probably regard this conflict going on from different perspectives. So then it's all about interacting with the environment and with each other and trying to find a solution that is to the benefit of the gaming group.
Sure.
It will be lots of action, I can say.
Nice. Well, that's always good whenever you have whenever you're role playing. Action is always good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So you've unlocked the adventure landscape. You've unlocked the monster deck. That was as now. Have you ever done you've done card decks before for Symbaroum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Want to see?
Yeah. Let's show them.
This is actually just out. You see it?
Yeah.
It's two card decks with all the abilities and mystical powers in the game, and it will. I think Modifius started selling it in their web store like a week ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Or maybe less, and it will hit retailers in all over in the next couple of months.
Very nice.
I can't say for sure exactly when, but so, and this was making the card deck was a really great experience. It came back looking much better than I hoped.
Oh, nice.
So no, and people have been really happy about it. So I'm psyched that we get to do another one. Yeah.
And to offer it as a free, like pretty much a free item to your backers that pledged it to physical, that's adding a lot of value to the pledges.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, you are actually helping us to. I don't know what we would have done without Kickstarter and the relative success we've had at previous campaigns.
Sure.
We wouldn't be where we are right now. That I can tell you. I mean, I don't know if people pledging realize how much they are doing for Symbaroum or any other game they are pledging for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've said this in a few other videos and with interviews. When folks back a pledge or back a Kickstarter, especially for this industry, for role playing, for tabletop games, all this, you're not giving your money to pay somebody's salary. I mean, some of it does go towards that. You're actually giving someone some money to make something that they're very passionate and something that they want to share with the world possible. You're taking your game, you're letting someone take their game and put it all over the world. That is just, to me, that's what I love about Kickstarter and crowdfunding, is that there's that personal aspect to it that hey, I believe in this person, I believe in this company, I know that they're going to take this money and do some, and not only are they going to give me a great game, but they're going to do something really great with this. You know, they're not gonna just take this money and buy a fancy car, or or you're actually, I don't know, maybe you got a fancy car. I don't know. I know I don't, but
no.
But that's the way Kickstarter is, and crowdfunding is. Like, you're backing not only a product, but you're backing the people behind the product. And that is something that's I think that's why crowdfunding is so popular right now, is because people feel like there's a community aspect. There's they just feel involved with
and they are
product.
It's a very, very concrete, direct way to be involved in the production of, in this case, the role-playing game you enjoy.
Right.
So, there's no other way to describe it from our perspective as well. It's like, we owe not Kickstarter per se, but the backers on Kickstarter so much. Sure. And that's, I mean, giving you guys a free deck of cards. I think it feels not very much like a burden doing that.
Right. Well, and folks should just I know that you feel that it's just like, it's our way of saying thank you, but there's a lot of work and effort, and that's a lot of extra to do for you to just say, okay, well, if you backed us here, you get this. Like, I like to make sure that folks understand that, like it's another product. Like, you have to actually make it. So like it really shows. I like to just re-emphasize that it's not just a deck of cards, it's a product. Like, you're not just taking cards off a shelf and say, okay, here you go. You're creating it, you're designing it. This is just like the book.
No, and I must tell you, creating these monster cards, or it will be. I have started looking at it together with a layout freelancer. It will be a challenge.
Sure,
we will get it done, but there's a lot of information to cram into those cards. So it will be an interesting challenge.
I know someone said on the Kickstarter, they asked on the Kickstarter if there was going to be art on the cards, and I was like, wow, I don't know how you're going to fit all that on a card, but I
think they meant on the flip side.
Oh, on the flip side, yep.
I think so. In any case, there will be art on the flip side, of course, but will there be individual pictures of every single monster? Hopefully, but I'm not going to promise that. In case of the powers and abilities, there are a couple of different pieces of art, but sure. And it probably will be something like that here too.
We've got another question on the chat. It says from Terrier Halo, I've missed the start of the stream, so maybe this has already been answered. Will the monsters have stats? ?
Yeah, they will.
And yes, they will.
We actually talked about doing a supplementary product which only includes illustrations and in-game descriptive texts of the creatures. And maybe we will do that someday. For this Kickstarter, we couldn't figure it out financially. I mean, the idea of running a Kickstarter, after all, is that we will end up having the funds to produce the thing that is the main product. So,
right.
So I get where the question is coming from, but in this case, it will be a monster codex with statted creatures.
Sure. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So let's see here. Terry Halo says, I am not for statless monsters. They said.
No, but it would be a cool product for, you know, that player whose character knows the ability Beast Lore.
Yep.
Yeah, or when you come to research some creature that you are about to encounter at the local archives in Thistlehold. Such a product, I still think it would be a cool product.
Sure.
Not just yet.
Now, going back to the stretch goal items, or the stretch goals that you have already, that we're inching towards, we've got another third adventure landscape that we want to unlock, which more than likely, you know, if it trends the way that this Kickstarter is going, that should get unlocked. You also have a stretch goal for a map, I believe, just like some maps of the adventure.
No, this is a completely different map.
That's a totally different map.
It's I think it's called the Hidden Treasures of Davokar.
Okay.
Right? I don't have it in front of me right now, so the Kickstarter.
Oh yes. Yeah,
the Hidden Treasures of Davokar. It will be basically a map of the Davokar region with lots of new. I think we said 20. It may be a little bit more, maybe. Mapped out new ruins or treasure grounds in Davokar, and adding to that, it will be I don't know if it will be a separate ebook or PDF, or it will also be in print, Kickstarter exclusive.
Nice.
With rumors about these different sites. So it will be basically, and then it will be up to the game master or the gaming group to find out which of these rumors are actually true, if they can get there. That is
nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's again, it's trying to produce, in this case, stretch goals that will be useful at the table, that will enable fun. That's basically what you want to do. And even if it would be really cool if every stretch goal could be a new deck of cards, or I don't know, that kind of thing. But you have to be creative and also cater to different kinds of. One of the in our previous campaign, we were climbing pretty high and we were adding new stretch goals, and we added a poster,
right? Okay.
At a certain level, and one backer instantly reacted, saying that was like a mockery.
What?
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, it's not. Others were ecstatic and said, "Whoa! I would love Symbaroum posters to have my, in the gaming den."
Sure. No. Especially with the art the way it is. The art is just like it just draws you in. Like, why wouldn't you want that on your walls?
Yeah. So anyway, I really hope we get to that level, and I mean, it would be fantastic if we could reach even higher, up to the dice cup or
the dice tray. Yeah, let's talk about that. That's it's really like, I'm like, wow, that's kind of a neat. I don't think I've ever had a Kickstarter RPG campaign that they threw in a dice tray, especially one like this. This is beautiful. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we wanted to do something really, really special for if we hit that 1 million Swedish crowns. And again, yes, just like the card deck, it will be a product that it costs a bit to use. Again, I hope we get there. I hope we unlock it. I hope we get to because this is also a Kickstarter exclusive item.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's very cool.
and not the dice tray per se, but the art on this
particular one.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it will be.
What? I'm assuming you're not like. Is there a company that's making these dice trays for you? That
Yeah. We are collaborating actually on the very, very slowly. We are starting to set up a line of merchandise together with All Rolled Up.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I think they are working. I think I saw their stuff on the recent Numenera Kickstarter campaign as well.
Yeah.
So
they're doing some great stuff.
Oh yeah.
No, that's
so and they are at Essen, this enormous European gaming convention in Germany. Right now,
just wrapped up, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're that's all my Facebook feed right now is just all people posting being at Essen right now, and just everybody's having fun without me. It looks kind of depressing. So let's talk. So are there any? I don't want to say too much. I know you don't want to be greedy and you don't want to sound greedy, but if you achieve all the stretch goals, even the dice tray, is there anything else past that you kind of have like maybe in the back of your mind as far as stretch goals, or is that pretty much? I know some campaigns like these are the stretch goals that we want. If we hit them, that's it. Do you have anything else that you think you might want to plan after the dice tray that you want to spoil?
I don't know. I want to spoil.
Yeah, no. I don't want you to spoil it. You don't have to spoil it. Just say, yeah, we might have something up our sleeve.
We might have something up our sleeve. Yeah, we do.
Nice.
And I really hope we will be in a position to be able to show you what we have in mind.
Maybe the last couple of days is it really kind of, because with crowdfunding campaigns, it usually picks up at the end, and those last couple of days are just crazy. I'm sure you're just sitting at your computer hitting refresh, and like it just like I can't imagine like then it's got to be a very stressful but like exciting time for you.
Yeah, it is. Running a Kickstarter is. I actually compared it today, in some senses, by watching over a toddler, a really small child, because it's in need of constant attention.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it runs into a wall and falls over, and you need to care for it, and at other times it's all joy and excitement, and you're terrified that it is going to hurt itself because it jumps up and down too much. But it's very, very tiring, and the other thing that it's like watching over a toddler is it's so enormously satisfying.
Sure.
Running a Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if this is true for every campaign, but it could be that we have the best, greatest, nicest, coolest backers in the world.
I think it's probably that. I've been watching the comments, and everybody just really is very excited about this, about your game, and about what you guys are doing, and it's just it's really like I said, when I usually try to keep my ear on certain things, but when somebody like on social media says, "Hey, Doug, you got to check this out," like I always try to like. I don't discount that. I always research it, and I'll take a look. And when you've got all these people just saying, "Hey, this is great, this is great, this is great," or "This is," and I had people when I announced that you were coming on, and people were saying, "Hey, I just got all this stuff in from their pledge. Like, look at this awesome stuff that they're doing." Like, it just grows, and yeah, you have this huge, great fan base of this game. So it's great to see. And I'm glad that I'm glad that somebody reached out and said, "Hey, Doug, you need to really kind of check this out because it's just a great."
I can say if Kickstarter is one reason for us being at the position we're in right now, another very important reason is that, and I mean this with all the love, nerds will be nerds.
No, that's true.
And what do we nerds do?
We like to.
Yeah, when we find something that we like or love, we will let others know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's also, I mean, a huge part of. I don't know what would we have done. I mean, by a 15-second slot at the Super Bowl, or I mean, how do we reach gamers if not through gamers?
Yep. No, it's and I'll say this again. I've said it a few times on previous streams. Word of mouth advertising is way more effective than buying a print ad, buying an online ad, because people just kind of see something. And I'll tell you, you know, I heard about your game, you know, even before, because, you know, I follow Modifius and you know, I've looked at some of their other games, and I was like, oh, it's a fantasy game. It's not really, you know, I don't think that that's going to be something that I'm going to be all that into. When I originally saw just like the cover and all this and that, but then when somebody says, "No, Doug, you really need to kind of take a look at this," and then I was just like, "Wow, how did I not like get into this right off the bat?" So I'm gonna tell anybody that's watching this, that's on the fence, just download that free, even just the free adventure, like just to kind of get a sample of what it's like, because this is just so great, and
it's different from many other fantasy role-playing games.
It is.
It is. And I think it was someone who said the other day, when we were advertising that we were doing a monster codex, and they were asking us, okay, so it will be a long list of basically it will be a long list of different kinds of stuff to kill. Because they also referred to another brand we don't have to mention.
Sure.
But as I said, our hope, and I'm fairly certain we will pull it off, is that this will be very much more than your listing of stuff to kill or run away from. We hope that every piece of every creature will contribute to the lore and to the history of the setting. Every creature will offer some type of new tactical challenge to the players and their characters, of course. Every single of these characters will, as I said, it will come with illustrations, and hopefully also contribute to you know, a sense of immersion in the game world, by way of these, you know, in-game artifacts. It can be a poem, it can be an eyewitness account of a creature, and or you know, it can be a report from the scholars of Ordo Magica, or you have these treasure hunters going out and maybe making it to the shores of the river Malgomor, and, you know, putting a few words on paper, rolling it up in a flask and sending it downstream, dying up there in the far north, and we get to read the note in this book.
Nice. Yeah. No, I think that's one thing that I really enjoy about, especially the core rulebook, is that you have like these little, paragraphs or sections that kind of are firsthand accounts of like something that and it just kind of builds the world even more for players and for people that are into it. It's a great job. The book is such a great read just on its own. Like like even if you don't want to play the game, you just want to read the book. It's phenomenal. It's a great product.
And actually, that we hope for that. I mean, we aim for that.
Sure.
Because as a game master, you have to read a lot.
Yep.
And why not try to make that time as enjoyable as possible? Right now I am wrapping up the third episode of the Throne of Thorns. It is set in the capital of Ambria, in Indaros, and it's in the proofreading phase. Nice. And I have people lining up, and not because they enjoy Symbaroum, because they. Oh man, I'm too full of myself. But
no, it's fine. That's good.
Just commenting. The main thing is we want you to not only enjoy the game but also the read and the art, and
It just ties everything. Everything gets. What's that?
Sorry for that.
No, it's great. It's great. No, and I'll tell you that like just reading it is just such a joy, and like it's just you have every right to be proud of the work that you guys are doing. Like,
thanks.
Feel free. It's good. No, I want folks to just realize that this is a really cool product, and I hope I'm fanboying out quite a bit right now, but it is definitely you're definitely worthy of it. Let's see here. Terrier Halo says they're going back to that stretch goal that we kind of you didn't want to say after the trice rate. They say it in Swedish. We don't understand. Promise. They were trying to get you to kind of reveal what that stretch goal was after the dice tray, and if you wanted to say being very clever.
Nej, jag kommer inte att spoila saker till er. För det vore väldigt, väldigt taskigt mot alla på den internationella marknaden. So I just told them that wouldn't be cool.
No, it wouldn't.
No, that wouldn't be cool to the Americans and the Englishmen and Aussies.
Paul Baldowski says, "Yay for the work Jarnringen does or do." So I'm telling you,
man. Hi, Paul.
You know Paul?
For you, Paul Baldowski is, and this. Thank you for mentioning Paul's name, and thank you, Paul, for this shout out. This gives me a chance to direct people to the Iron Pact.
Oh, nice.
Which is, I think we have a link to the Iron Pact on the Kickstarter page as well. It is a Symbaroum fan page, you can say, run by Paul.
Okay.
And it also today it includes sections in Swedish, in Italian, in I don't know if all of the languages are there yet, but it will be also German and Spanish and so on. And it's great stuff. So
nice. That's gonna be awesome to just have like this is a world that you built, and then there's a fan site about
there are a couple. Yeah,
that's like some next level there. I keep saying referring to other parts of videos that I've done, but to have a fan base that is that passionate, that just kind of just embrace this world that you built, that must be the awesomest thing in the world. like that's like what movie producers want, and like what authors want. Like that's something really special.
Yeah, and we try to encourage it in every way we can, because as we pointed out earlier, today at least we are only 2 guys.
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. If other people want to help us produce, material for the gaming table, it can be settings or cool characters or small scenarios and whatnot. It's nothing but great.
Sure.
I know there are other gaming companies that maybe not feel exactly like that, but to us, they are doing us a service, and also looking at, for instance, the Iron Pack. There's another one called Ordo Magica, which is run by a guy here in Sweden, I think. Also, great stuff. So I hope to see that part of the community grow.
Sure.
Where people feel confident, and where people feel that we really appreciate them for contributing to the game and the game world.
No, that's great, and it just shows you. It shows how much you value your community and how your players, and how you want everyone to be involved. And I think a lot of companies, they're like, okay, this is the way it is. And I shouldn't say a lot of companies, but there are companies that just say, this is the way it is. We want to control all aspects of our product. We want to just, but to actually embrace those folks that love what you do is just, it's a great thing to see.
One thing that I often find myself thinking and talking about at conventions when I interact with players, and most often with game masters of Symbaroum. I have worked a couple of years or a handful of years in the computer games industry.
Okay.
And Martin, our artist, is also a concept artist for both movies and computer games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Mattias Johnsson, the third guy, is also involved in the computer games industry. What is the big difference when meeting people at a computer games kind of event is that you are talking to a consumer. When I meet a game master and when I meet players at a role-playing game convention, I am talking to co-producers.
Oh.
And it's a totally different kind of relationship, which I love it, because, and we are very, very clear on this when we write adventures and adventure paths or campaigns, chronicles as we call them, that we are trying to enable fun, but we also want to encourage you to make. If there are 10,000 gaming groups playing Symbaroum, I want to have 10,000 different settings, campaigns, worlds. That's how role-playing games, I think, should be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paul says it's important that new Symbaroum players delve into the canon, but never fear breaking away from it and creating their own creations, events, and personalities.
Yeah.
And that is, I am going to actually. This isn't a game. I've realized early on that this isn't a game where you're going to be able to take the rules and kind of. There are a lot of games out on the market that pretty much here's a rule set. You can kind of just plug in your own setting and everything. This Symbaroum, the mechanics and the setting are very tied to each other. Like you're gonna and that is really kind of neat. And
I would argue that the basics of the rule set is not
okay.
specific, but
okay.
there are aspects of the rule set. For instance, how corruption works, which is something that, for instance, mystics like wizards and sorcerers and witches are threatened by when weaving spells and rituals. Basically, when you force your will upon nature, whether it's in this mystical way or also in mundane ways, when you force your will upon nature, when you cultivate nature, when you make it into something that it is not, but that you want it to be, it will react.
Sure.
Yeah, and that is summed up by the concept of corruption. Actually, if you look at this narrative tutorial in the startup adventure that you mentioned, it will cover the corruption bit.
Nice.
At least on the surface. So there are parts of the system that are definitely anchored in the setting. That, I mean, if we one day are to do another role-playing game, there are aspects of the Symbaroum rule set that we will not be able to transfer.
Sure.
But the basics is absolutely possible to transfer.
So it kind of sounds like maybe that's something that you've considered.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well then we won't push on that.
No, we've said all along that our baby Symbaroum will have a sibling someday.
Oh, nice.
But we also have promised ourselves and the players of Symbaroum that we will never become this company that pushes core book after for new brands all the time. But instead we want to and we love to develop Symbaroum
sure.
First and foremost. Right. But in the long run, it's not only that we feel that we sort of need to have a second game. We also want to
sure.
make it. So we will, and as soon as we have something to show you guys, we will announce it all over Facebook and Reddit and Google Plus and our homepage.
Nice.
By then, hopefully, it looks a bit better. I think honestly, we haven't even the homepage is so. Maybe you should take away the link to the homepage because it needs some work. I think it's Swedish only, actually.
Let's see here. Terrier Halo says the poker face is strong.
Yeah, I heard that before. There's no tells at all.
No.
Mr. Cool. That's me.
Let's see. Paul also says it's in referring to Symbaroum. It's a gorgeous, rich world of potential. And yes, I definitely agree with that statement.
Thanks. That is really flattering.
Okay, well, let's go back to the Kickstarter. Let's talk about pledges. If somebody is really interested, they've liked what they've seen and like what they've heard, let's talk about the pledge levels. How can folks help you out? The least expensive way to just get the Monster Codex, say they've got everything else and they want to get the Monster Codex just in PDF form, they can pledge. I'm going to give US prices. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
If they want to pledge $25, they can get the Monster Codex in PDF form, but that's it. That's all they're going to get.
25.
But it's going to. But there's a lot of pages to that Monster Codex.
No, they will also get all the stretch goal PDFs.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was...
No, you're talking Trapper, right?
Yes, I think so.
Pledge level Trapper, yeah. It's the Monster Codex in digital, and also all the digital unlocked stretch goals.
Oh, okay, nice.
For instance, you will get digital files of the monster card deck.
Oh, okay.
For instance, as an example.
Very good. Very good.
But you'll miss out on all those exclusive prints, of course.
Right. Yeah. No, that's, and then if they want those, I think it's like $49, right? They get the PDFs of those.
Sounds about right. Then.
Okay.
We have let me sum it up for you.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you go through it?
We have the Trapper, which is basically everything in PDF digital.
Okay.
Right? And then there is the big game hunter, which is the Monster Codex in print and the stretch goals in digital.
Okay.
PDF. Yeah. And then you have the Monster Hunter, which is kind of the main, I guess, pledge level. It is the Monster Codex in print and also all the unlocked stretch goals in print.
Nice.
Then, if you're new to the game, or of course, if you feel that your game group needs a second one, you can go up to I think it's Trophy Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also add a printed copy of the core rulebook. And finally, you have Abominations Hunter, which is you add also the Advanced Player's Guide. So with Abominations Hunter, you have all 3 core rule books of the game.
That's awesome.
And we will also actually ship the core rule book and the Advanced Player's Guide long before the Monster Codex is done.
Nice. But there'll be an additional shipping charge for that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. But the thing is, to most countries, there's not a huge difference because there's this magical limit in shipping, which is 2,000 grams, 2 kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
When you pass over that threshold, it gets really much more expensive to ship stuff. So you can look in the FAQ section on the Kickstarter page. We have an example with a US backer, but I think it would be shipping 2 packages instead of just 1 heavy is like it's like 30 or 40 Swedish crowns more. So what's that? $5?
Yep. Yeah. About that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't save much by waiting 6 months or whatever for. Yeah. Also, we have the Crulio, which is a limited collector's edition, and it's all gone. But I mean, there people drop out sometimes. So if you're lucky and you are interested in the collector's edition, you may have a shot still.
Now, isn't there is an all digital pledge? Isn't that correct?
People asked for it, and it's called what? It's called Troll Hunter, I believe.
Okay.
Troll Hunter, and then you will basically get the Monster Codex in PDF, and also everything so far released to Symbaroum, everything right now available over at various download stores.
That is a lot of content.
Yeah, if you scroll down on the campaign page below the header rewards and keep going down, you will find a listing of the products. It's, I don't know, is it 15 or something like that? 15?
There's quite a few.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking that we managed to put out that many.
It's great. It's great.
Books. Yeah.
Let's see here. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll try to address them. I won't keep you. I try to keep these about an hour, but we're already over like an hour and 20 minutes, so I hope that's all right. Let's see here. Terrier Halo says, I don't want to hunt Symbaroum trolls. They're too big for comfort. They're a bit too big for comfort.
No, but you can try to talk to them instead.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, if you have the adept level of the lore master ability, you actually can converse with them. But if they look, if they behave in a way which suggests that they are hungry, maybe wait until they have fed. that could be a tip.
Nice.
Or I mean, you can also try talking to them. If they don't respond with other than salivating, run.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No, it's not. Really not.
Oh, so let's and then there's a few other add-ons as well onto the pledges, but we won't get into that too much. But yeah, just I'm going to tell folks, if you're interested in any of this, check out the Kickstarter.
I hope it's pretty easy to navigate.
I think it is.
Yeah. There is a header for if you're new to Symbaroum, there's a header with all these links that you can go to review pages and art galleries and all sort of stuff. And the add-ons, of course, is a section to themselves.
Right.
Check them out.
Absolutely.
We are actually one thing I should say.
Sure.
We are doing this Kickstarter with Kickstarter's own back end.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard, but most projects today are using either BackerKit or Pledge Manager or something like that.
Sure.
And this means that we are in a position where we cannot. People are asking us for add-ons, and for instance, being able to add, the earlier Kickstarter items for Carbosid Witchhammer and Wrath of the Warden, and we would love to be able to offer them as add-ons now, but we would, I think, end up in a really bad situation if we did that without having a proper backing manager.
Sure.
For the fulfillment phase. So we will, I can tell you, as I said, we are about to wrap up the Swedish version of part 3 in the Chronicle of the Throne of Thorns, and it will come to Kickstarter for the translation. I say early next year, maybe
nice.
late first quarter.
Okay.
So, and then I promise I will have learned to use some kind of BackerKit or something like that, so we are in a better position to offer add-ons and stuff.
Sure. Well, my camera's not there we go. Plus, all of that stuff has a cost to it too. There's BackerKit charges their own fee and everything. So it's you kind of have to outweigh all the options. So I totally, you have to figure out what's going to work best for you.
No, and at least we have to give it a try.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if it shows that it's so expensive that it damages our work with the products, or in the end the quality of the products, the printing quality, or whatever. Maybe we will find that it's not such a good idea for future campaigns.
Well, whatever you're doing now is working, and you know, you don't. I've always been told, don't fix what's not broken. You know,
that's true.
There's a little bit of that going on too. So 2018, you're going to go for the third campaign book, or early first quarter, or sometime around first quarter. Are there any other plans after that?
There is.
Okay. Do you have it kind of? You don't have to spoil anything.
No.
You have it mapped out.
Let me put it like this.
Sure.
Early next year, we will be in a position where the thing is, things are so rapidly changing.
Sure.
For us as a company, and I mean, if we, depending on how things go, we may be able to increase our production rate. Is that correct? Yeah.
Sure.
Rate of production, or we may have to slow it down a bit.
Okay.
Depending on what happens and how things go. So we will have a company meeting in December, and at that meeting we will decide on exactly what will be produced and what will be released during 2018.
Nice.
And once that is done, we will share it with you.
Nice. So I'm excited to hear what you have in store for us, because I'm telling you, this is some exciting stuff. You guys are doing great work, and I'm glad that we could get you on the channel and get you on the show to hopefully even spread more word to folks, to let them know that hey, these are some great folks doing some great work, and especially in you, especially just I can't say it enough.
Thanks, man. It was really fun being. I'm starting to be, as you probably can tell, my head is starting to spin, and I'm beginning to. I mean, it's soon. I can't see the clock even.
it's.
Oh, I'm so old. Oh, it's late here.
Yeah, it's late.
It's like half past 8. I should be in bed.
For us old guys, that's about time we go to bed.
Yeah.
No, it's and I thank you for staying up and coming on, and I'm glad if folks want to find you online, where should folks find you? You're on Twitter. Where can folks, if they want to follow you on Twitter, if they want to follow you on social media, where should they find where
the best place? I mean, since we are talking about the Kickstarter, we have on the Kickstarter page you will find links to. I don't know if we have a link to Twitter, but to Facebook, to Google+, to Reddit, which is, we have our international forum there. Then Modifius has a Symbaroum forum over on their platform, which we visit from time to time. For Swedes, they should look up rollspel.nu, which is a Swedish, you will find Free League over there, obviously. You will find Thunderbird, Oskfågeln, who are doing the Western game. Did you see it?
I've seen it.
You have Helmgast, who is doing Cult. Okay. Also kickstarted a couple of years ago. You have Trudvang Chronicles.
Yep.
You heard of that one. So it's pretty cool making role-playing games in Sweden today.
Oh, you guys are...
Because there are so many I mean, we're a small country. We're 10 million people in Sweden, and role-playing game is a very, very, very small sub-genre of the popular culture here in Sweden. And still we can have these, you know, get-togethers where almost everyone can share experiences about international venues and international conventions, and you know, shipping partners for the Far East, or it's really cool to be a Swedish role-playing game maker today.
I bet. No, you guys are just churning out some great stuff, and I'm glad that I get to witness this whole, like, you're just taking the industry by storm, and I'm just excited for all of you, and especially you in particular. So yeah, so I'm going to tell folks that are watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for Paul and Terry Halo for putting some comments down below. Paul says he'd like to be on the fly of your meeting, on the wall for your meeting that you have in December. I think that would be.
Can't promise anything, but I don't know. Maybe we will be outside. So if he's able to transform into a fly, it shouldn't be a problem.
Nice. Yeah. So folks, go check out the Kickstarter. Check out Symbaroum on DriveThruRPG. If you're here in the US and you want to just dive right in, check it out. If you like this video, please, I'm going to tell you to give it a like down below, share it with folks, because we need to let everybody know that this is a really great fantasy RPG that Jarnringen is just putting out, and they're just doing some great work, and yeah, let's just help them out as much as we can, because the more that they have that they can work with, the better their products can be, and the more that they can just kind of just keep building this world and put more games out in the world. And that's what Kickstarter is for. Let's see here. Terry Halo says Swedish RPG makers are just rolling in cash, driving Lamborghinis. It's the good life. That's true, right? You get the Lamborghini in the garage.
No. No. We are all very small. It was actually one of the coolest things with Gen Con was seeing Paizo there.
Yep, Paizo.
Yeah. Because I mean, there are these kind of, as we see it, huge games, role-playing games companies like Chaosium, you call them, right? I can never pronounce that correctly. Chaosium, Modifius, of course, they are growing. And you have, and you have Green Ronin, Onyx Path, and of course Monte Cook, and I can go on.
Sure.
We are very far from their level yet, but on the other hand, we are very new to this.
Right. Well,
but the cool thing was to see the next level, namely Paizo, which was so crazy huge. It was, I couldn't believe it. It was so, maybe when we are Paizo, when we have like football field after football field after football field, tables and gamers, then maybe I can afford at least a toy Lamborghini. Maybe, but that's a bit not right now.
Hey, even Paizo had to start out somewhere, and and the way your fan base is, as rabid as they are, and as much as they want to, let everybody know, I have no doubt that, and just, you've translated back in, was it 2014, 2015 for English, you know, it's only been a couple years. I can just imagine what it's going to be in a couple more, because at this rate, it's just going to keep building and just be nothing but great things for you.
You know, I truly hope, I truly hope you are right. It's been 1.5 years since the English core book landed in retailers, you know, in the US. It was April 2016.
It was really, it's only been that, I didn't realize it was that short. Like that's not that far away.
So I truly hope you're right. It would be so awesome. It would be so cool if this dream could, you know, just continue. Sure.
Yeah. No, I hope it does for you. Terry Harlow says thanks to both of you for your time. Thank you, Terry Harlow, for watching and joining us. I guess I'm gonna call it the end of the session. Thank you so much, Mattias, for coming on. Good luck with the Monster Codex. Good luck with every single project you have going forward. I'm so excited to watch and just see take off this back end of this campaign, and we're going to keep our eye on you and make sure that we let everybody know any project you guys got going forward, and we wish you the best of luck and much success.
Thank you. No problem.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. My name is Doug. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you on the next video, folks.